Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. I'm Jason Stockwell.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge.
Stephanie Havel.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, Stephanie Havel, Wells Fargo. Happy Sunday.
If you're just joining us, we learned what a Todd is. So if your name is Todd, hello, welcome to the show, and thanks for listening. Also, we know what a Todd stands for in the estate planning business through Courtney Sebo, Esquire, ESQ, with Excelsior Law Firm. And so if you missed any of it, you can go to the Patriot station and find it on a podcast. Go to our Facebook page, Stockwell Eldridge Show, or go to YouTube and check us out on YouTube and watch and listen there. So we left off with kind of a negative note, talking about the D's when you need to go and get your estate planning, but something goes wrong or something's in your life changes, you should probably update or replan on your estate plan, which was 5 Ds or 4 Ds? Five. Oh,
right. Well, and I think it just, we talk about this every week on our show about really consulting an expert. And whether it's an uncomfortable situation or not, I mean, we've had people, insurance agents, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to update it. They don't want to do this or that because it's a lot of work and they have to get into it. But, consult an expert. Don't go online and try to figure out your will. I mean, this is your estate. This is your legacy. And to some online form or online chat room and get answers. Like, I love that you offer a free consultation. I mean, why not? People take advantage of that.
Yep.
Again, or like you said, I didn't know if you have something in place. That's really an awesome thing that you offer as well. It's just sometimes it's good to have that second opinion. I encourage it with our people. Come to Wells Fargo. I don't care. You can shop us all you want. We're the best in town. But that way, sometimes if you do shop, you just know for sure that I'm going to get the best option, or just sometimes a second set of eyes, or maybe a second set of questions and so forth.
And the other thing to think about, too, is that there's very few people that would probably, if we asked you directly and said, hey, do you think you should have an estate plan? And some people may think, no, I don't have enough money or whatever. Or if you have, if you make money, if you own real estate, if you have children, you should probably have one for sure. And it's always one of those things that's probably on the to-do list, but it just gets pushed out because life is important. There's a lot of things that are going on in life that are more important. You're like, I don't want to get into it. I don't know the cost. It's too much. And then you make it a big mountain, and then you never get there. And then, lo and behold, you get to be older and you die, and then you never had one. You never got one.
Well, actually, you bring up a good question. So as a single person, I'm a single woman. I don't have children. I don't have any ex-husbands or anything like that. All my baggage is carry-on. So with somebody, but I still have debt. I mean, I own a home, but I don't own it free and clear, obviously. So that's why sometimes I feel like, well, I have more liabilities than I do assets. And my 401k already has, my niece and nephews as designation as beneficiaries. So who would benefit from estate planning? I mean, would I, as a single person, it was something that you would suggest for me? I know you mentioned you have healthcare directors, or is it more for somebody like, Jason, who has a wife and children and things like that?
It is literally for every person. And sometimes singletons like us, I'm also single, have no children, no ex-husbands. And
ooh, girl, we need to go out. Okay, that's another show. Okay.
So, but sometimes we're the hardest ones because you do have to find the beneficiaries of your estate. I have 3 little nieces, and so at this point they would be my beneficiaries, but they're all minors. I mean, they're all under the age of 6.
So can you do a Todd like in your example or my example, then if I were to set up an estate, would I want to do it as a Todd to my niece and nephews?
No,
or not necessarily because they're minors?
Well, because they're minors, number one, and then number 2, because you're going to be putting 2 people on that real estate then who are going to, then have to work through selling the property. So I always say I never recommend that more than 2 people be put on real estate unless it's a married couple.
Okay.
And the reason is because, and certainly you all know very, very well, when you start working with multiple people who are not married, who may not be on the same page, and who may have in-laws giving input, they've got to make decisions about, do they sell the house? How much do they sell it for?
Do they
to
renovate?
whom do they sell it? Do they renovate
Does one
first?
of them want it? What's it worth?
What's it worth?
We think we went on one, Dawn and I, the other day, and they had a range of $50,000 on a not a high-end home, an average home.
Yeah.
Where one sibling thought it was worth $50,000 more than the other sibling, and there's 4 siblings, and there's a range in that range, and that's tough. I mean, how do you slice through that? I mean, someone's going to feel like they're getting not the full.
Slighted or
Yeah, something's so
Or there are different siblings want to use different realtors. I mean, it's
all the time. That
Yeah.
happens all the time.
That
so
So
that's why I wouldn't do a Todd in that situation. I think
Okay.
selling out of the estate would probably be the best. But and we'd have to certainly talk about this in more detail. I'd have to get more facts before I actually gave a legal opinion about it. But yeah, single people do have special considerations that we really need an estate
So
plan
the point is, no matter who you are, you should probably
at any age.
have one and
Right.
get it in place. And then when one of the 5 Ds happen, you go and you change it.
Yep.
And you just have to set time and actually do it. It's just like going to the dentist, right, or something like that, right? Something that you
Another
maybe don't
D.
love doing.
right. Yeah.
The
And
city.
doctor, too.
Yeah,
And then when you go to the dentist,
Uh,
and it's so funny. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday, and she said, "Well, I'm an attorney. I'm just going to do my estate plan on my own." And I said, you know what's going to happen is you're going to get through halfway through the first page. She doesn't do estate planning. You're not going to know the answer to a question, and then you're not going to do it. And it's going
Right.
to sit for 3 years, and you're not going to finish it. Why not just pay somebody to do it for you, and then you know that it is going to get finished?
Then it's done.
Right.
Right.
How long does it take for someone to meet with you to get an estate plan set up?
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, some people, I always get the frantic phone call. I'm leaving for China in 2 weeks. Can I get an estate plan before I leave?
Oh, it's the same
So-
thing. We get people. We
Yeah.
want to refinance. We're going to go to Italy for a month, but we
Right.
want to get our refinance so we can come back.
Before-
Like,
yeah.
you can't leave the country in the middle of this process. That is funny. That
Yeah.
so people do it to you as well.
They do,
Okay.
yeah. And I always say I should advertise at airports. But it depends. I mean, some people are a little more responsive, and then if I've got a lot going on, and I've got a lot of clients, maybe it'll take a little bit longer. I would say anywhere between 2 weeks and maybe 3 months. It just depends on
Well, how
a lot
much
of
stuff
factors.
and how many people and
Exactly.
how much all kinds of
and
things.
and if you're doing a trust, that's going to be longer because we've got to fund that trust. I've got to go to the recorder's office. I've got to talk to your financial advisor about changing beneficiaries and et cetera.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, and it's good stuff too. Like you said, in a trust, we see that a lot. And that's, I mean, probably good advice for you, like you said, now in real estate, as if you're thinking about.
It's a question for a
Make-
seller
for
right
the
out of the gate. Is
realtor
this in a
to
trust? Then I
ask-
can tip the title company off so the title company doesn't wait until the last week to tell
Absolutely.
them, hey, by the way, we need this document, and you got to go down, and you actually physically have to go down to the county to get it on that short notice. Apparently, it takes some time to get it from the county.
Yeah, it's
like
it's a
probably lot of
question we
things,
use.
so.
We always ask up front on our refinances. It's in kind of one of our scripts and so forth because there is extra documentation. And again, yeah, people sometimes do forget, and it's actually been it's a great resource because sometimes people say, "Well, gosh, I don't know, I haven't looked at it," and they haven't had a D situation in 20 years or whatever. But a decade,
They,
right?
they
That's
would
right.
have the decade one.
They would have the decade. So yeah, so that was that's great advice. And we
So
can
do
look
yourself
for
a
referrals.
favor for yourself, even though you won't be here to enjoy the benefits of or the fruits of your labor or whatever you may want to call it, but at least your heirs or whoever it is designated to, loved ones in some way, shape, or form will benefit, and they won't hopefully have to fight as much, and it should be a smoother, more peaceful transition. Like the back of Courtney's card says, live your life in peace, take care of your future today, and then you can live your life in peace. Unless a D happens, then call her again, and then you can update, right?
Right, absolutely. Well, good stuff, Courtney. It was great to meet you
you.
today, and thanks for
Yeah,
being on the
you as
show.
well. All of you.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, refinancing or looking to purchase a home, give me a call. I'm Stephanie with Wells Fargo, 612-940-7335.
Jumbo loans at Wells Fargo are great, and that they have the buy-down program. Courtney Sibo, thanks so much. We'll see you again at another Edina Chamber event. And then, folks, thanks for listening again. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook. Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
And I'm Don Eldridge with Remax Results.
Any real estate needs or questions, anything related real estate-wise,
Call us.
or not. If
Or
it's not
email.
real estate related,
Or just
even
to talk
call
to
us.
Jason.
Yeah.
Or Facebook us or text us. Have a great week. Remember, love yourself
Love
Love
others.
and love
Others.
others. Thanks, folks.
In the middle of our house it has a crowd. There's always something happening and it's usually quite loud.